Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lori and I wanted to do a video today on tools that can assist in your ascension process right now. Easy and simple ways that you can ease into and ease through your current sort of journey as you shift into the next dimensional field. And as you are purging and clearing out the denser consciousnesses and energies that are inside your physical form. And what I want to share today are all of these tools that I've been doing the last 6 months religiously. I've been doing these consciously all throughout my day. And what I've noticed after doing these for 6 months is just how powerful these very simple techniques are and tools, and how they have assisted me in relaxing into whatever it is that's showing up for me, relaxing into the process of what's occurring. It's a very natural process, right? I've talked about this before. Ascension is a very natural process. But there are things that we can do in our everyday now moment that can make it a little bit easier to get through this natural process of ascension. So today I'm going to share 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, 9. 9 tools that if you practice on a regular, daily, every day, every now moment, you'll notice. I can guarantee you, you will notice your reality shifting. Okay, so let's just begin. So the first one, and they're in no particular order, so it's not like, oh, I need to be doing this one first and then this one second and this one third. They just do whatever it is that feels resonant to you in the now moment that you're experiencing your experience. So number 1 is being present. How aware can you be of being present? And how do you even know if you're present and in the now moment? So one of the things that I started really recognizing and becoming aware of is when I am in something, when I'm in a moment, when I'm doing something, I start to bring awareness to just being there. So I try not to think about what's coming, think about what I'm doing later, think about what happened in the past. I try to just get present and experience what I'm in. Whether you're in a meeting, whether you're doing something for your job, whether you're taking your kids to school, whether you're in line at a grocery store, whether you're having an argument on the phone. It's not just because being present, just because you're in a present moment doesn't mean that moment's going to be enjoyable. But how present can you get in each of your moments? So you start to get conscious of your moments. All of these tools that I'm giving you, the key to all of them is consciousness, awareness, and remembering. How conscious can you get of all of it? Of every single second of your day, consciousness is key. Awareness, same thing, right? Basically, how aware can you be of what you're experiencing, of what you're feeling, of what you're resonating with, of what you're not resonating with, of what you're hearing, of what you're not hearing. Awareness, awareness, awareness. Remember, we have been dropped down as beings of light into a physical form that is in a consciousness that is very, very dense. And that dense consciousness closes us off instantaneously almost from higher states of consciousness and realigning and connecting to who we are and remembering all of this. So this is just a remembrance. So having awareness, having consciousness, and being and remembering are key to all of these tools. So getting present when you're walking about your day, start to consciously ask yourself, am I present? Am I thinking about the future? Am I thinking about the past? All of these behaviors are very programmed into us. And so the more conscious you can get, the easier you'll be able to step out of it. Okay, so that's the first one. Just start to get present. Practicing not worrying about what's happening in the future or what happened in the past. That's how you can practice being present. Am I worried about the future? Am I thinking about the future? Am I thinking about what I'm supposed to be doing in 3 days and 4 days? It's not necessarily easy to always stay in present moment because many of us have jobs and have lives where you have to plan, and that's okay, but you can practice. And the more you practice, the more you will find yourself in a present moment state all the time, even in your busy, chaotic life. You'll start to notice that you don't necessarily have to plan the way you used to. Number 2, of course, is finding your breath within the physical form. So again, this has really helped me because it allowed me to get back into my body. And I've said this in so many videos, but the key to really beginning to remember what's going on here and how to do it with ease and grace is moving back into the body. We have to get back into the body. So what I have been doing the last 6 months is, as I'm doing anything, I remind myself, again, this is about remembrance. Am I breathing? Can I feel my breath when I'm waiting in line? When I get anxious because somebody in front of me is doing something really annoying, can I breathe? Where's my breath? Because what happens when people irritate you or frustrate you or annoy you is you get anxious, right? There's an anxiety that may start to form inside the body. So instead of feeding into whatever reaction your physical form may be having to an experience, you start to get aware of it, and then you start to bring yourself to your breath. Slows everything down, brings you back to what's really who you are, the being of light inside of you. It slows you down. It also brings you into the form. You start to feel your fingers, your shoulders, your legs, your toes. So anytime that I can remember, I am reminding myself, where's my breath? Am I breathing? Because again, another program that we have in this consciousness that we're in is that we're numb and we just go about our day as robots, and we're not, we don't even know if we're breathing. Our breath is shallow. I mean, you're breathing all day long. You have to be breathing. That's the heart moving back and forth, beating, right? And the beating of the heart creates the breath, creates that flow. But I guarantee you, how many of you have noticed your breath today? How many of you have felt your breath today? And yet your breath is with you 24/7. Every single millisecond of each moment is your breath. And yet how aware are we of our breath, right? So get really aware and conscious of the breath and get into the body. Number 3, this is really, really powerful. I say this, I am consciously aware of this all the time. You are a being of light, whether you're an angelic being, regardless of where you came from. You are a light consciousness inside a physical form, experiencing the human being, experiencing this reality, Earth, and her design and experience and experiment. You are a being of light inside this form. There are other aspects of you inside this form. You are connected to Source inside this form. You are God consciousness when you connect to that Source. There is a spark of divine God consciousness inside you. Harder to reach, so I don't always focus on that. What I focus on is what I can hold, which is I am a being of light inside my form. I hold that. I know that to be my truth. So what you can do is when you're walking around in your day, on the bus, riding your bicycle, in your car, having dinner, having a meeting, you could be a CEO in a meeting, and you can still be reminding yourself that you're a being of light in physical form. Because that will get you to start to recognize that you are not this. You're not just this. There is so much more, and it shifts you. It's a powerful tool. Number 4, start to get really conscious and really aware of your judgments. Get a conscious of, because we are again programmed to be numbed out by how we judge everything, because we live in a matrix that is designed around neutrality. And not neutrality, duality. And duality, of course, I've said this in many videos, is good, bad, right, wrong, positive, negative, those kinds of things, right? The spectrum of one consciousness and another consciousness. And that is why we judge. And there's nothing wrong with judging, right? That is just part of this field that we're in the third dimension. But if you want to assist the ascension process, your own ascension process, you can start getting aware of what you're judging. Start getting aware of how you judge things. I'm judging this. Okay. I can't not judge it today. Okay. So you're not even judging your own judgments. So don't judge your own judgments, right? Just start to get conscious of how often you're judging things. Because that's going to, just like the previous thing, your being of light in physical form, that's going to shift you out. And why is it important to kind of shift out and kind of watch? Because then you're not attached and in it. And when you're not in it, you can allow it to move. It's like when you're in a river, and if you're in that river and you're focusing so much on the current's pulling you, the current's dragging you into this rock really hurts. Ow, I just got bruised, right? You're going to be paying so much attention to what's occurring like in that experience that you're not just going to relax and let it yourself just flow through. Right? And what you want to do in the ascension process as often as you can is just relax and let yourself flow. So part of relaxing and letting go, which is what we like to call surrendering, is watching your judgments. How often do I judge? What am I judging? And then you also want, as a part two of this, is attachments. What am I attached to? We attach ourselves to expectations. We attach ourselves to desires. We attach ourselves to how we want things to go. And of course, that creates a lot of tightness, and it creates struggle and suffering. Suffering comes from attachment. Now, there is nothing wrong with attaching to an expectation, attaching to something that you want to occur, right? But if you can start to get aware of your attachments to things, you'll start to be able to move deeper into a flow state. It doesn't matter. Whatever happens is divine, right? When you start to really connect to higher self, you're not attached to anything because you know that the best thing that is occurring is for your highest good, whether you like it or not. And when you start recognizing how you're judging your experiences, you won't necessarily like or dislike it. You'll start to just become neutral, which is another piece here. Okay, so just start to get conscious of the judgments and attachments, because the attachments are what create the suffering and the struggle. And again, these are suggestions and tools, right? And what's important is that you don't get attached to these tools, meaning if you're finding yourself judging or attaching to an experience or having an expectation about something, let it be, okay? We're not going to be A students in this right away. We're learning. So these tools that I'm sharing, you're learning how to do it. It's a process. You don't just say, okay, well, I'm just going to not judge anymore, and I better not judge, and I got to stop judging, and then that's not going to happen. You're going to still be judging. You're going to still have attachments. You're still going to have expectations, you guys. We're freaking human in a third-dimensional matrix, most of us, right? But if you start to practice this, it'll get easier and easier and easier. And eventually your physical body's going to thank you because you're relaxing and letting go so that it can move you and anchor you into the fourth dimension, which most of you are in the process of doing. Okay? Most of you know this somewhere inside of you, that you are about to be anchored into this fourth dimensional field, regardless of what your now moment looks like, your reality looks like, right? So what I'm sharing is these simple tools. So don't get upset with yourself if it's not easy for you, or there are certain ones that may be easier than others. Okay, let's see. What number? 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5. I started talking about this, and this is so huge, and so challenging. But I practice as often as I can. Neutrality. Neutrality. Now, neutrality is hilarious to me because it's very challenging to get into a neutral place in the beginning. When you start trying to get neutral with life, neutral with your now moments, neutral with your reality, it's challenging. So what does it mean to be neutral? It means that you aren't, it's just not judging. It's neutrality means that everything is perfect. Everything just is. Everything just is. So we are being asked to start to hold this. We are being asked to start to hold this in a field of consciousness that doesn't hold it. So when you anchor into a fourth dimensional field, it's much easier to hold neutrality. And when you are anchored into a fifth dimensional field, you are existing only in neutrality. So that it's not even you're not even practicing. You are neutral with everything. You're in a neutral state of consciousness. So everything just is. You aren't existing in this really long spectrum of consciousness in the 3D where there's duality. So take it easy on yourself when you're trying to move into a neutral place throughout your world and your now moments, and you're finding it hard. It's going to be hard. You're in a dualistic world, you're in a dualistic consciousness, trying to pull yourself out of it to experience neutrality. So be gentle on yourself. So being neutral means when you go about your day, somebody says something that irritates you, right? And you want to speak out, you want to judge them, you want to get upset with them, you want to tell them what's right, that's not correct. You're wrong in that thought. You're wrong in that belief. That's not neutrality. Neutrality is, wow. Okay, look at that human's experience. Look at how that human is living. Look at how that human is expressing himself. Look at how that human is being, right? Can I find a neutral place where I'm recognizing that human is just being a human? That human is just being the light being inside of him, right? It's going to be challenging for certain experiences, and it could be, and it's going to be easy in certain circumstances. So it depends on what is easier to find neutrality in. Some people will find it very easy to find neutrality in people that are arguing about politics. You're just going to be like, I'm neutral with that. I can stay in a neutral zone. But if you start talking about, pollution and, what's happening on the earth plane in terms of the physical destruction of stuff, then I might not be able to be so neutral. It's going to be much harder for me to find a neutral place and say it just is. It all just is, right? That's harder for a lot of people. So it's okay where you are, but can you just slowly begin to tap into and hold neutrality, right? You'll start to find yourself being able to be neutral. You may be in a grocery store in line and you may see something happen or someone say something. And in that moment, you may get a little trigger within you, right? Why'd they say that? Or that's so annoying. Or they're asking me to move forward and I don't want to, right? Neutral. Can I be neutral? Can I find a neutral place in this? And so you practice. You just practice. And eventually, it starts to become a little bit easier. But there is so much duality that you'll find yourself going through layers of it. This I can be neutral on, this I can't be neutral on, this I can be neutral on, this I can't be neutral on, right? And you're okay with it until eventually more of the I can be neutral becomes your reality. And there's less of you judging and being dualistic. But it's really challenging, so just get conscious. Again, this is about being conscious, being aware, and remembering. So as you start shifting into higher states of consciousness, you will naturally start to become more neutral on things, especially with people that are in your lives, right? You want someone to not be doing a specific behavior anymore. Why do you keep doing this behavior over and over and over again? Okay, wait, can I find a neutral space here? Can I move into neutrality? Some people you may be able to. And it's not this place of, I don't care, go ahead and do whatever you're going to do. That's not what neutrality is. Neutrality is recognizing that is a light being in physical form choosing their experience. That's neutrality. Neutrality is a consciousness choosing to experience its reality. And who am I to tell them that's not correct? That's the wrong reality you're choosing. That's the wrong response you're choosing. That's the wrong belief you're holding. That's the wrong truth you're feeling. Be very careful of teachers that are telling you how to be, do, see, all of that, right? If someone's telling you that something is wrong, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it the wrong way, start to be conscious of that. That's a dualistic space, which is okay. But if you want to move into these higher states of consciousness and anchor it in, you want to start to get aware of neutrality. And when you do, you'll start to notice people, most humans, that are not in that yet. They're not in that space. So practice, practice, practice. Okay. Number 6, reminding yourself that your physical form knows how to do this. So what most of us are going through right now is the physical process of ascending. Our consciousness, the light inside of us, has already started spinning at a higher frequency than our physical form. And so we're starting to tap into these higher states of consciousness, the 4th dimensional consciousness, 5th dimensional consciousness. We're tapping into it with our light, but not our physical form. So right now, for many of us, it's the physical form that's ascending. Our light's still ascending. We're still ascending with the light and with the form. We've got a long way to go. But it is the physical form that is really starting to turn the motor on and get going. And so there's a lot of us that are like, holy shit, what's going on? Why am I feeling these ways? Why am I sick? Why am I ill? Why am I exhausted? Why, all of these ascension symptoms that people call it, right? It's your physical body doing what it's designed to do to anchor you into the next dimension. So throughout your days, can you remember that your physical form is actually very, very aware and very capable of doing what it is designed to do? It knows what it needs and it will communicate with you. Are you exhausted? That's your body telling you to rest. Are you starving? That's your body saying eat. Do you feel the desire to go sit on dirt and breathe fresh air? That's your body saying, I need to be outside. I need fresh air, right? Your body will tell you what it needs. And your body is doing the best that it can to clear, purge, and process the denser consciousness. What has been happening to so many of us is that we forget this. We forget that the physical form actually knows its journey. It knows what its role is. It's got a role. It knows what to do. It's a consciousness. It's an aspect of you that's a consciousness. And it's vibrating at a denser field than the light inside of you. A denser frequency than the light inside of you right now. That's okay. But it's the one that is going to anchor you into the next dimension. Not your light and not your ego and not your mind. So you can go ahead and move into higher states of consciousness as often as you want. You can go ahead and raise your frequency as often as you want. But if you're not allowing the physical form to do what it needs to do, if you're getting upset with it, berating it, trying to not allow it to do what it's here to do, you're going to be stuck. So start to remember as often as you can that your physical form knows how to do this and listen to it, right? And then you start to go back to the other 5, right? That you're going to find your breath. When you find your breath, you start to listen to the body more. You're going to start to become aware of the judgments of what you're saying about your body. The judgments about shouldn't be sleeping. I shouldn't be eating this. I shouldn't be, all the things. Those are attachments and judgments. So you're going to start to get aware of that. As you start remembering that your physical form knows how to do this, it's an aspect of you that knows, you'll start to recognize all these other things becoming neutral. Can you start to get neutral? This is a really beautiful and easy way to start. Can you get neutral in your own physical process? Can you get neutral? Meaning when you're exhausted and need to sleep, can you just say, oh, my body needs to sleep because it's trying to assimilate and acclimate the frequencies and energies that are coming in and spinning inside of me so that it can do its job, which is to anchor me into the 4th dimension so that I can then anchor into the 5th. So thank you so much, body, for telling me that you need more sleep. Neutrality. It just is. It just is. This is what my body's telling me. Okay, I'm going to do it. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. Oh, my body's craving a hamburger. I'm craving meat. The ego's going to say, you're not supposed to eat an animal. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. Okay, well, that's duality. What if you moved into neutrality, didn't have a judgment about it, and said, wow, my body for some reason needs a hamburger. Listen to my judgments. You can't eat meat. It's not good for you. If you're in a higher state of consciousness, you don't eat animals, right? All these things you're going to have. What if you decide, I'm going to be in that river and I'm just going to float down that river as opposed to grabbing onto rocks? Because if I hit this large rock, I don't know what's around the bend. What if I hit another large rock and get pulled under? You're trying to control it. Let it be. Find neutrality. So throughout your day, you're reminding yourself that your physical form knows how to do this. Let your physical form do it. Number 7, start listening, connecting, engaging with the beings of light, your higher self, your I am presence, the inner guidance within you. And I call it an inner guidance. Actually, I didn't. My guides told me to say inner guidance today. And so what they want to remind us is that it's coming from inside. So the higher self is a higher aspect of you. It's vibrating at a higher frequency, but it is filtered into the physical form. The family of light, your guides, your ascended masters, the angelic realm, whatever consciousness you connect with in terms of your guides and your family and all of that, they're in a higher state of consciousness. And so that energy and consciousness is going to be filtered into the physical form as well. When it's filtered in, it's going to sound like inner voice, inner guidance, inner knowings. So start to listen. What are you hearing throughout your day? What are you intuitively feeling throughout your day? Subtle voices, subtle knowings, subtle guidance. It's subtle, but start to become aware throughout your day. Don't numb out. Start to get aware. Start to get conscious. Listening to the higher self is key, especially if you don't know if it's higher self or ego. Great, dive into it. How conscious can you get of whatever it is you're hearing in your mind, in your heart, in your body? What are you hearing? Great, keep going. What does it sound like? Are there dueling kind of conversations happening? Great, dive into it. Participate, be involved. Don't just shut out and numb out, right? Get involved with what you may or may not be feeling or hearing. Number 8, remember, this is a big one. This is a big one. So throughout your day, as you are purging, as your physical form is purging and clearing and processing the emotions, thoughts, and beliefs that are being held in a denser consciousness, which is not where your physical form needs to get to. So the physical form needs to purge and cleanse and clear out these consciousnesses. And it just came to me, they're just telling me that if you had like a Kundalini awakening, or, you know, a lot of teachers or even human beings that are not teachers will talk about their awakening when they had the Kundalini arising or that kind of awakening process. What happened was there was a huge purging, huge amount of purging when their energy turned on inside their 7 energy centers. All the energy turned on inside these centers, the 7 centers, and it literally purged a huge amount of dense consciousness. And so their process of sort of awakening may have been a little bit different than a lot of ours, which is like a very slow process of purging. And so the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that are coming up that we don't like, that are uncomfortable, that we're judging, right? We don't like it. It's uncomfortable. It's painful. It's sad. It's trauma. Great. Remember, here it is. This is the piece you have to do every day if you can. You're not these thoughts. You're not these beliefs. You're not these emotions. You're not them. It is a consciousness that was an experience that you absorbed inside your physical form and turned into emotions, thoughts, and beliefs. It's all consciousness. Everything is consciousness. Everything is energy. Everything. And it's an experience outside of your physicality that absorbs it. Nothing starts from within, including thoughts. It's all an experience of the matrix and the consciousness that you absorb as an experience. And so can you start to remember as you're moving about your day that you're not the uncomfortable thoughts, beliefs, and emotions? I'm not depressed. I'm experiencing depression. I'm not an angry person. I'm just experiencing anger. I'm not a sad person. I'm just experiencing sadness. I'm not a rageful person. I'm just experiencing rage. So you're not disassociating from what's happening. You're not shutting it off. You're bringing conscious awareness to it. You're recognizing that you are detached from it, so you become the observer. Remember, that's one of the things you want to try to do every day. Observe, observe, observe. So you're becoming the observer. You're not attached to it. And then you're in the river and it's flowing. You're on that river and it's flowing. There's no attachment to it. I am not depressed. I'm experiencing depression. And can you remember that these are consciousnesses? They're not you. They're consciousness energies. They're energies that your body is trying to bring up so that you can have awareness of it so it can move. So it's just your body rattling the consciousness around, saying, hey, listen, listen. Can you bring awareness to this? Because we got to do this together and purge it out. There's purging that happens in your etheric state, but that's your higher self involved. I'm in dream state when I say etheric state, the dream state. Your higher self is assisting you in purging things that you just can't quite bring yourself to get conscious of, right? Pretty potent traumas. You may not be able to really bring conscious awareness to, right? There's a lot of things that happen to us that we don't even know. We disassociated at that moment when they happened, and so we don't even know. And so there's a lot of clearing that happens in the dream state, which is when the etheric body is working on our behalf, which is the light being. The etheric body is holding the light being that you are that dropped in. The etheric body holds the light being that you are that dropped into physical form. And it's connected, of course, to the channel and the higher self and all of that. So in the dream state, there's a lot of clearing that's happening as well. But you want to get conscious. Oh, look at this is what's coming up. Oh, look at that thought. Look at that belief. Look at that emotion. Now you're recognizing you're not it. It's just the body saying, hey, this is what I'm designed to do. I got to clear this out. Can I have you look at it, please? I need you to feel that consciousness as if it's real. Great. Now I can purge it. Instead of, oh my God, how can I possibly be feeling this? Jesus, I'm feeling this again. This is awful. This is horrible. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be experiencing them. This sucks. Like that, right? The hamster wheel. Practice detachment. Practice being the observer. Practice remembering that you're a being of light in physical form. Practice remembering that your physical form knows exactly what it's doing. And then you won't attach. And then remember that these thoughts, beliefs, and emotions are not you. They're not you. And the last one, number 9, is become the observer as often as possible, which is part of every one of these that I said, right? Become the observer in your every now moment. Observe, observe, observe everything. When you start to observe, you become the light being. I don't know where this came from. I don't even know why I'm doing that. When you start to observe, you become the light being in your physical form. You don't even become your higher self. You literally can start to recognize reality through the eyes of the being of light that dropped into your form. I've been experiencing this. It shifts your reality when you start doing all of these things. I'm telling you. And it seems like a lot of things that you have to remember every day. So write them down, right? And do only what you can remember to do. But when you start becoming the observer of your reality, you start to recognize, oh my God, holy Moses. Not only am I a being of light in physical form, not only does my physical form have a consciousness that's doing what it's doing, but I've got this higher self that's guiding me. I've got all these other beings around me that are guiding me, and I am stuck in a dense consciousness. And that's when you start to flow. That's when you start remembering even more of what you're doing here, regardless of whether you're doing your purpose work or not. That actually becomes less important because you realize you're on this ride and you're in this river and you remember this is all about flow. It's all about releasing control and surrender and flowing. And I'm going to flow. Watch out. Get out of the way. All right. So I'm just going to go through these one more time. Get a piece of paper out and write these down. Number 1, awareness of being present. Get present, get present, get present. Get present. Don't think about the past. Don't think about the future as often as you can in every now moment. Number 2, find your breath inside your form. Number 3, remind yourself, I am a being of light in physical form. I am a being of light in physical form. Number 4, become aware and conscious of the judgments that you hold throughout your day and the attachments and expectations that you have. What am I judging? What are my expectations? What are my attachments? Number 5, try to find neutrality as often as possible. Can I be neutral here? Nope. Okay, great. Can I be neutral here? Yes. Okay, fabulous. I can be neutral here. Get conscious and aware of neutrality. Number 6, Remind yourself that your physical form knows how to move you into the next dimensional field. It knows how to anchor you. It knows how to clear the denser consciousnesses. It knows how to do this with you. And it's communicating with you and it's talking to you. Remember, your physical form knows how to do this. Number 7, connect, engage, listen to the higher consciousnesses, higher light beings, your higher self, the I am presence. Start to get acutely aware of it throughout your day. The inner guidance, they're calling it, right? Get aware of it more and more and more. Listen, don't numb out, listen. Number 8, remember the uncomfortable thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that you're feeling right now, including the physical pains. You are not them. You are not them. They are consciousnesses. That's it. It's consciousness that you're experiencing. It's energy that you've digested from a previous experience that you're now purging through with the physical form. And number 9, become the observer. Okay? Become the observer of everything as often as you possibly can. And if you start doing all 9 of these, you will assist your ascension process. And notice that I didn't talk about increasing your frequency. I didn't talk about ways to assist to raise your vibration. Because raising your vibration it's like a loophole, or not even a loophole. It's like you're trying to get a shortcut, right? Like, these will raise your vibration naturally. Doing these 9 things will assist you in moving quicker into the next dimensional field. These 9 things will assist you in increasing the physical vibration that's happening with your physical form. It will assist you in staying in a higher frequency. It'll assist you in staying in a higher vibrational field. Because see, what a lot of us want, because we are in a 3rd dimensional matrix, we want things to be quick, we want things to be fast, and we want instant gratification. So we want to move into higher states of consciousness. Teach me how to raise my vibration. Teach me how to raise my vibration. If you're not doing these 9 things, regardless of where you're able to kind of shift your vibration inside your physical form, you're still not going to be able to hold it. Right? So you want to be able to hold these higher states of consciousness all the time. And these 9 tools will assist you. They will help you hold higher states of consciousness in every now moment, which is anchoring you deeper and deeper and deeper, because it's in the body. You're experiencing it. You're allowing your physical form to assist you. You're practicing daily how to be in higher states of consciousness. You're practicing how to be in higher states of consciousness. It's not just about increasing your vibration. There's a lot of practice that needs to happen. A lot of practice, and this is it. So go play, go practice. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being on this ride. Thank you for dropping down into your physical form. Thank you for allowing yourself to remember. Be gentle with yourself. Don't forget to be gentle, 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 gentle with you, okay? I love you so much. If you have any comments, go ahead and leave them down below. I love reading them. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel. I do live Q&As, like many of you know, every other Tuesday. I have a couple master classes coming up, so check down below. The links are there. And enjoy trying these 9 tools. Most of you are doing them already, but keep doing them. I love you. Bye.